All right, all right. Hello, hello. Welcome everyone back to the last of May edition. Sell pressuring happy hour show. How is everybody doing today?
Good, man.
Doing good.
Fantastic.
Oh.
Feeling great.
Excellent. Well, today, as you can see, we have the Big Kurkowski with us. How you doing, sir?
Like I said, feeling it. Having a great day.
And in the green room, you had some adventuring today.
Oh yeah. I was out ripping it up on some foil board today. Took my wife's parents out to Old San Juan today. I've been all over the place. Feel great about it.
Nice. And we got a couple OGs with us. Anybody who's been
glad
around
to
the
be here
RH
with you
ecosystem knows these gentlemen. First of all, Yashdeep, what's going on, man?
What's up, guys? Happy to be back. It's been a little while, but always good to hang out with you guys.
Yeah, it's been a minute, and always good to get your takes on stuff. And who's this guy? He looks familiar, Big K. We used to hang around him all the time on this show. Right below me down there. Who is this?
A time or two. He's been here a time or two. He's done a joke off or a few under his belts, you know.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of which, hold on just one second here. Hey, Vince.
Hey, Cabana.
Why did the non-binary prospector head to the west?
I don't know why.
Because there was gold in them there hills.
That's a good one.
Right. To the
Gotta
person
get those pronouns in.
Yes, thank you. That was the hook there.
Yeah.
So, and to the person who stole my dictionary, I have no words. All right.
Double whammy there.
That's a little flashback.
We had to bring it back. All right.
Yeah. Too bad I didn't bring any jokes.
In all seriousness, how have you been?
I've been okay. Yeah, pretty good. Just a little exhausted because I took like a 1 month long road trip. Actually met up with Yash and almost met up with you too, but we
almost
different parts of Florida, so couldn't make it
close.
happen. But
we crossed paths or just missed each other.
Yeah.
But one day,
sure.
we will.
Yeah, I still haven't met Cabana in person either, which is he's one of the very few old OGs, that.
Yes, you two are probably top of my list of whom I have not met.
Yeah,
and that I'm still friends with.
Yeah.
And I haven't met Big K yet either.
So. That's funny because I've been a bunch of times.
Yeah,
and I've
hung out with Big K a few times.
Yeah, I almost got him in Florida. We were
close.
We just missed each other by a day or two or something after I thought about it. But anyway, welcome to the Happy Hour Show. I see all the good peeps in the chat. The ladies have certainly showed up tonight. So, hello, A Wild SJ.
Yeah, what's up?
Tam is in the house. She is not AI, by the way, in case anybody was wondering. OG Michelle. And we got some squirrels in here. We have Ewoks. We have all sorts of wildlife characters and whatnot. Freddie Quotes is in the house, and I'm sure people will filter in as we talk all things crypto and the RH ecosystem. I guess important disclaimer: I nor this show has ever run a sacrifice. Never created a coin either, which means I have never rugged a coin. So always important
disclaimer to get out there.
This is true. We're not.
That's very rare these days, so it's important. You got to let people know.
Yeah, I have this other coin that's basically turned into a meme, and I have to shill it so you guys can be my exit liquidity. So let me talk about now. That would be die-tarded there. But anyway, Big K did. It is happy hour. Usually bring a little something
I do.
fun beverage-wise by. What do you have?
Yeah. I was about to pour myself a glass of some Austin Hope. It's from Paso Robles, so it's not actually a Napa cab, which is not. That's a little outside my normal, but it's fantastic. And lately, it's been on special by me for a pretty decent price comparatively. So I have a bottle of that for this evening. Good sir.
Excellent. Guests of the show, might you have anything fun to be drinking on, or you just showed up to party?
I just
Without
showed up
it.
to party.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is allowed. That is allowed.
That is allowed, especially
I'm
around Big
drinking
K.
this fine German Gerolsteiner sparkling water here.
Gerolsteiner. Lovely.
Actually, Yash introduced me to the brand years ago.
Nice.
It is very carbonated
It is.
and heavy
Super
with
bubbly.
minerals,
Yes,
but it's good.
Minerals. I've been doing the sea salt thing in the morning, and 8-10 ounces of water. That's like part of my new routine now because we are mineral deficient beings. So always a good start to the day. But I have not heard of that either, so I'd be curious to give that a try. I also have another nice little beverage here. We have
Nice.
a little Crown. So let's see what we have in the bag. And this one is a nice little special blend. This is Crown Royal Marquis.
I've never seen that one, sir.
Well, sir, that is because I've been told it is only available for whatever reason in Georgia and the DC area currently. So I don't know. Oh, well, I didn't even give it the proper introduction. It is finished in Caribbean rum casks for a rich and silky taste. And there's like even a hint of honey in there. Usually I drink this civilized and out of a glass on the rocks, but just for taste test purposes on the show, quality assurance, I'll do a review real quick. Yeah, just very smooth, goes great again on the rocks. I think it's a really good summertime whiskey, if there is such a thing. Usually I drink whiskeys in the winter over ice, but we lost Yash there. But yes, that is your review of Crown Royal Marquis. Very good. Woo! Man, I want some more of that. All right. Anyway, we got some topics, I think. It's been a minute. We can talk about plenty here. I guess let's just jump right into it with the broad stuff. And, as we usually do, we'll get down to the RH eco and coins in a bit. But let's start with the overall crypto industry. Bitcoin has since made a new all-time high. I think it was like 112,000. Now it's back to, I guess, a little bit below 105. And what are we thinking here? Is this kind of like the last top to where we made one, went right up to it and through it, and this is it? Or is this a natural place to hang out chart wise, and more good things coming this summer? I know which way I lean, but just wanted to throw it out there to the group, to whoever wanted it first. Where are we with BTC price action?
I mean, I'd like to say that we have another run or two at an all-time high. Like, we go past it quite a bit here. I'd like to say we coil up and go past it. I don't know, maybe not, but like I still feel like we've got quite a bit of this run to go at, and there's like plenty of evidence for that. This money supply chart, etc., that says maybe more up in our future for a bunch of stuff. But I don't know. I think that anything's possible, but I feel like it'd be pretty limp, for us to go out on a 112 whimper in this cycle, and that'd be that. It'd be shorter than normal. It'd be not nearly as high as that, as impressive as normal. So it would be weird for us to like move through some sort of alt season breakdown, right in the middle of the beginning of summer here. I mean, there's a lot of things where I'm like, nah, I don't foresee this being the end of it yet here.
Yeah, ETH BTC's been getting a little jiggy, a little fun as of late.
Yeah, it does seem like that chart might have turned around, but
Or be in the process.
or might be trying to, it might be trying to. It might be the reversal it's trying to make. It just depends on. I mean, that's going to be interesting to see. It's been we haven't had this much up. Those the two moves that it made. Like that, and I don't know anything like that since May of last year. And then before, like anything sizable, like before that would have been like, I don't know, 22 or something. That gives you some hope, that definitely feels nice. I don't know. Anybody else feel anything?
Yeah.
Big K feels nice. I feel nice. Josh, you're a studier of prices and charts. What's your take here?
Yeah, so I think long term, I mean, short term, we could have a little pullback. We already seeing a little bit of pullback. That's fine. These prices, I mean, we're still at 104, 105. Like, what are we really worried about here? Long
Right.
term, I just think the bond market is ruined. And on a real term basis, you're going to lose to inflation. If you're holding bonds. And so that just means there's going to be a lot of inflation. It's going to go somewhere. It's going to go to gold. It's going to go to Bitcoin. And hopefully it goes to our favorite cryptos in the Pulsechain community. HEX.
Yes.
In particular for me, that's my favorite. Always will be. But yeah, no, I'm not worried about, where we are right now. I'm bullish. Buy more.
Yeah.
It's the same old thing. They just can't. There's nothing anyone can do to stop the inflation. If you guys follow like Luke Groman or Lynn, what's her name?
Alden.
Lynn Alden. She likes to say there's nothing that stops this train. She had a little thing she did on at the Bitcoin conference. She explained how the bond market is, basically ruined, and just everything is going to inflate. And so the only way to keep up with the inflation or to beat it is to buy harder assets like gold, Bitcoin, and higher risk assets. And that's just the game. So yeah, I'm not worried.
Yep. I mean,
Nice. Vince. Go ahead, Big K.
I don't know. I'm saying I'm also like, cautiously interested in watching closely on the Bitcoin dominance chart too, for like the rest of crypto, like for the ETH situation that we're talking about. I mean, like you see there is a big candle down, a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago or so, and that was like, I have these little lines and these little things that are drawn here where I'm just like, man. And I remember being like, maybe we flag out at that because we spiked all the way up to the 64% here, like, back in the very beginning of, this year. And I was like, maybe that's it, and, because like typically it's been like in the mid 70, like, 70, 72%, it tops out before we could, see some kind of alt action. And it's flagging around 64%. So you'd imagine at least some kind of move up, some kind of like breaks all the way down. I think so. I think that there is. I think there's one more coming in.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like, probably
was
should
gonna
give
say,
Vince a chance, but
Do we think this cycle is different this time? Meaning, hey, we could theoretically go, I guess, through the end of the year, maybe a little into 2026, and that's like completes our normal 4 years, or is it different because new players are involved and bigger money is involved? What's the thought there?
I think it's different because it goes back to the bond market. The deficits are extremely high. There's really nothing anyone can do to change that. Whereas in the past, you would have, in the past when the interest rates went up, I'm talking about not the Fed rate, but the bond market, the 10-year, 30-year, when those go up, you would not see the DXY fall. You would see that go up. And now you're seeing it fall. So that means people are not only selling bonds, which is what drives the interest rate up, but they're also selling the dollar. And so it's a different dynamic going on right now. It's obviously very early on. It's only been a few months, but I think the writing is on the wall. As far as like the cycle goes, different. Obviously, it's been different because the altcoins haven't had their run in a very long time, and so it's been a lot different in that sense. That it's taken a lot longer to bleed out, but inflation's coming back, and you have to. When the inflation comes, people have to spend, and they're going to feel rich again, like they did, in 2020 when the inflation came. It's taking longer than normal. I never really bought in too much to the 4-year cycle. It's just, but it is about liquidity, and liquidity is going to go up. They're going to do QE, just not going to call it QE. They'll call it something fancy that nobody understands. And yeah, I mean, but at the end of the day, more inflation, more liquidity.
Vince, your take on the BTC sitch? I'm kind of in agreement with both of these gentlemen. As Big K, I think
I kind of disagree in that in what Yash is saying. The only thing I disagree with.
Well, I said more so with you, but go ahead.
Is that I'm really scared when anyone starts telling me that this time it's going to be different.
Yes.
I'm like, I don't know, man.
I don't know. That's why I asked the question, because I mean,
I'm
there
not
are
saying
reasons.
you're not, because
there are reasons it could be. Like,
yeah,
Yash could be right.
I agree 1,000% with a lot of what you're saying too.
Yeah,
but I'm still super wary on that. And I mean, even think of like the money pools, the liquidity that you're going to find next cycle. If there is a 4-year cycle, it's like if we're getting governments to buy now, who's buying next? Fucking aliens? I don't, there's, you run out of pools of money. So like something has to change in the dynamic overall, so like this might be that, but boy, oh boy, is that I'm still like, some part of me still wants the governments to buy and then them to eat shit and us all to go down 80% so they can be fucking bag holders like we all are too. Like they don't get a fucking free pass. I don't like that either.
But they also have like endless coffers to where they could just average down where a lot of people would be.
You're right. They can just make us all suffer so they don't have
just
to feel
print more
fiat. I agree. Which is not the worst for me either. So I'm also like, fine, sure, fuck yourselves over. I don't know. Like, I mean, that's a tough, sorry for the language, but yes, I'm just like, I think that I agree with what you're saying. It feels like, man, this could be a very different, like length of cycle and everything else along the way, but I am also scared by it.
Yeah. I mean, so when I say that, obviously I sound very certain, but everything's a probability. I probably just assign a higher probability, but there's definitely risk. And so, yeah, I'm not saying that it's impossible and that the top will be in early 26 or something like, and that's generally, what is supposed to happen if we follow the 4-year cycle. And so, yeah, I mean, that could happen. I just think with what's happening with the bond market and the tariff stuff started it off. But long before that, I mean, gold's been appreciating. Governments around the world have been buying it, not just the U.S., but China, Russia. They're net settling in gold, and so really the U.S. Treasury is no longer going to be the world reserve asset. That's what I believe, and that will leave it into something else like gold, maybe Bitcoin, maybe basket. I don't know exactly, right? But that's why I think it's different this time. But I understand. I understand. I understand it's going to be this different this time. I get it.
Works until it doesn't.
And hey, maybe we do see some pullback at and everyone thinks it's going to be, and we only do 50% pullback, and then shit goes to then people realize what you're saying, and we really have another like some super cycle shit, and we go through another couple years about so. I'm totally down with that. Like I am cool even selling the getting pretty close to the top and then being totally wrong. Super tight. If that happens, I'm gold. I love it.
Yeah, got to manage risk pretty well there. I mean, if we get to early 26 and we're at a very good price, yeah, I'm going to take some profits, right? Like that's the smart thing to do. But I'm also I'm also never leaving crypto. Like this is
That's true. That's true.
so,
It's
you
just
know.
one coin. It's just like what risk on or risk off situation we're sitting in.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Johnny brought up a good point here. Corporate buyers are copycatting sailors. So what's his face? Jack Mahlers and his group, tickers, what is it? Canner, CEP. Like that's their version of strategy, aka the former MicroStrategy. You have Trump's Liberty Financial, like buying over what 2 billion or filing to, at least. And who was it? GameStop. Doing something with their cash and putting it into Bitcoin, which somebody actually suggested like months and months ago, and I was like, you know what, for like an old shell of a company, that would have been a good
for a
idea
company
then.
that shouldn't be worth what they're worth right now to begin with, that you're
But,
like, all right, sure, sounds great, guys.
Yeah, that was like 40% ago. So it's
It'd be
like
amazing if they're just and someday some meme version of themselves. They don't actually sell you shit. They just have a big crypto reserve
and become like one of the most
still super profitable to hold.
Yeah, valuable companies on the planet.
Yeah. That's the simulation we're in, y'all, for sure.
Vince, what's your take on all this Bitcoin stuff? Are you kind of still in the bullish camp like the most of the rest of us, or all of us really are here on screen? Or you have a different take?
Yeah, I mean, it's just been pretty exhausting waiting for all-time highs, like new all-time highs on everything. But I mean, I think things are similar enough to the past where I think just the price has to go up still. I don't think we'll get a boring double top like we did in 2021. So yeah, I think it has to go up. I remember Richard made a tweet suggesting like the new the next all-time high was going to be like, I forget what it was, like 233K or something like that. So it'd be interesting to see if he's right this time, but I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of like laughed at it when
I
made that.
Took it as a half joke. But
yeah. But I mean, it could happen. I'm more in the camp of like anywhere between 125, 150 for this run. But some people will laugh at me and say I'm not bullish enough. So
I hear you. I think that I think that that's a fair. If we get anything over $1.50, $1.60, I'll be thrilled. That'll be that's where I mean, like you figure you're gonna get a sick like launch for altcoins and everything else if we can get up that high.
Yeah, and I have my targets in like 120-ish. Like that's, as Raoul Powell says, start taking some lifestyle chips off the table. And I joke about his name, but he has some of the most entertaining streams when he does the drinks with Raoul. And he's been dead right with the money supply and the chart that his macro team have had. He's been rolling with it for months and months and months, and it keeps following it. And I think the latest update I saw on that was maybe like a break here in a month or so, a pause, he says, not like the top, and then like one great final last push. So we'll see. But what about ETH? Lonely old ETH, like the poor little underperforming coin, actually got some life recently. But do we think that eventually gets back into all-time highs in alt season? Do we have an alt season? Because I actually want to bring up this tweet from Sai and get your all's take on it, and ETH. If I can find the thing. Here we go. Let's see here. So Sai from HEX Toys. The best crypto has come up with in 2025 is chasing meme coin pumps, a giant leap backwards from the DEX revolution. The space is so diluted now. Altcoin season won't hit like before. Millions more tokens, and sniping Twitter leads is somehow the most profitable strategy. What a joke. And he is never one to, carefully select his word. He'll just throw it right out there and tell you what it is, and that's what I love about the guy. Of course, also with the NFTs and HEX toys and all that stuff. But thoughts on this? Is ETH suffering because of all this dilution and too many products, and everybody's got a coin, and everybody, half of them, the founders rug it, and is it just like, are people like worn out and just all money goes to BTC in the end, or there's a reason why like BlackRock, Trump, and these other entities are just loading up on ETH in the background? What do we think about Ethereum? Because if Ethereum goes, then that benefits all of us here, all of us in the chat, for multiple reasons.
I like Ethereum. Would like it to go up more too.
Well, we all would. But what do you?
Thanks for the insight, Big K. That's great.
Thank you for this update.
I think it's a lot more useful, and it has a lot of liquidity on it. There's a lot of shit that's there that should, but I do understand what he's saying. I mean, I get that vibe. It would be nice if there was some concentration into some, projects with some long-term vision and usefulness, and that kind of stuff.
Tell me more about these projects.
Other cool layer ones that help to offload the traffic on ETH. Maybe ones that have cool features like, I don't know, time locky stuff that I like, that kind of stuff would be cool. Like, I'm just saying that like anything that has value and utilitarian shit has been eating shit, so like, if you're in any of these other even big ETH projects, it's not like you're stoked if you're like a big Aave holder, or they think like there's other projects that are not like, they're not crushing it. And that's where I thought last time. I agree with Sai. That's where a lot of innovation was. There was a lot of cool shit that came out that like, okay, where's that new cool shit?
Where is that ish? Yash?
Yeah, no, I agree on the cool shit. It's definitely missing. And I think, other people have said this on a bunch of podcasts, but the problem with ETH is like just a revenue problem. And we did have the Petra upgrade, which is an improvement, but there's a long list of things that need to be done to get us to the point where ETH is really rocking. But I think there has been a shift as far as that goes. The upgrade was successful, and it's going to pave way for that revenue problem to potentially be solved in a meaningful way where it wasn't before. And so we'll see. I mean, the volume has to pick up, but this I think is more of a problem for the macro situation, where people in the real world, they're still fighting with inflation. They got a lot of shit that they have to deal with. All the prices for everything that they have to pay for have gone up, and they've continued to go up. And so they just don't have the money to play around and gamble on the casino like they did in 2020. So that's been a problem, and that has to change. And if you, I think Buck he posted a thread today about his experience at the Bitcoin conference, and he mentioned that the Bitcoin conference now just has like a bunch of old people in there, like boomers and some Gen Xers and
Max Kaisers.
Yeah, and so the demographic is very different from like if you go to an Ethereum conference where there's a lot of young people, a lot of energy, and a lot of different ideas. Where Bitcoin's been kind of they all kind of simp for Michael Saylor and Trump and whatever. Like great, they're doing good things, but the core ethos of what Bitcoin was, with like the cypherpunks, the Roger Vers, and the Ross Ulbrichts, like those narratives, they're not really pushing them. I don't even know if they had a thing for Roger where they raised awareness about a situation. And without Roger, like none of this would have came about. Like he was the early adopter for all of crypto.
Yeah.
So
you brought that up on the X a few times this week. Good, and rightfully so.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it's just a very different demographic. A lot of people with a lot of money buy Bitcoin, and everybody else is more of Ethereum, Solana, and we just don't have money. The regular people don't have money to spend and gamble. I don't know what the gambling numbers are on like sports betting, but I'd be curious to see if that's seen a dip. If it coincided at all with
I've
crypto.
been in and out of Vegas a couple times over the past year and a half now, and I remember several people telling me that they definitely, like last summer, there was some events that happened that carried a lot of like this, like that staff was like, thank God there was these events that happened because we were eating like we were expecting to eat shit, and they're expecting more of that this summer. They're like, it's definitely not going to be like, Vegas popping off. So like, I mean, if that's the case, then that's definitely shows something for sure.
Interesting observation. And I guess it depends on where you go in Vegas, right? So, I mean, some casinos, maybe like a Wynn, you're going to have people that have money no matter what.
Yeah, that's true.
Things will be popping there to where you go
to
like
circus, and that shit is dead.
Circus, the Flamingo or wherever. Yeah.
Yeah, there ain't nobody there. I went to some concerts in Atlantic City like a few months ago, and it was dead. That place is.
Yeah, that's AC. I love AC for the history, but yeah, I mean, it's compared.
I love it because of it. It's like because it's so dead. It's like whatever shady good time you want. It's like by all means, go for it, bro.
You can find it, and you don't have to look hard.
Yeah, or over your shoulder either. You're just like, do your thing, man. So it's a wild vibe.
Yeah, depends on what part of town you go and how many blocks off the boardwalk you go to. Vince, what say you on the ETH, man? You having good vibes? You thinking, this? Are we like stuck? Does Vitalik need to get out and dance and pamp? Like, what do we need here with?
I mean, it definitely looks stuck, and it's been talks about the it's always like the Ethereum Foundation selling on everyone and stuff. So, but in general, like I've been caring about ETH less and less as after Pulsechain came out, because I basically just look at it as a competitor to Pulsechain now, and so every dollar that goes into ETH is one that doesn't reach Pulsechain. So I'm kind of a little more apathetic to it than others in our community, I guess. So
even knowing the Pulsechain sacrifice wallet, even knowing that.
I mean, there's that.
I think that's kind of important.
Yeah, but just a little bit.
I mean, it's pretty neat it's neat that somebody was nice enough to put us on a list somewhere. That was cool.
Yeah,
that was nice to see.
Sure.
Yeah, and it was good to see the community come together for good instead of
not be total like overbearing assholes to that dude and that site. Yeah, way to go, guys. Way to.
It only took us 5 years. It's
only 5.
Uh-huh.
But if something else happens again, I think we will revert back to our very shitty personalities.
We're
battle hardened and ready to go, man.
Complete pieces of shit around here. I get it. Well, no. I mean, like I said, there's definitely some. I mean, whether it be that or just other inroads that I've seen with other, mainstream influencers that have seen, from recent events going our way to now, Richard getting off, whatever, people being like, hey, he's not everyone was like, fuck that scammer. And people are like, oh, I guess he's had some really good things to say over the years, so I've been, cautiously optimistic at the inroads that have been made. So.
Yeah, I saw a clip where I don't know who was talking, but it was like 4 people on a stream, and one of the guys was like, he was like, oh yeah, the SEC dropped the lawsuit against Binance, and they're like, oh yeah, even Richard Hart won against the SEC. So instead of saying like, oh, the SEC also dropped the case against Richard, he said correctly that he won. Now, Richard didn't win on merit; he won on technicality, on jurisdiction, and so on. But regardless, it is a job well done, because Richard knew from the beginning, and he's made a lot of mistakes, but you cannot deny the man never misspoke when it came to that.
Oh, he was super clear about that.
Yeah,
That
even if he was up like 24 hours right after launch and like talking to 3, 4 lawyers or whatever, and he was still on it. And so,
oh,
I think
oh yeah,
I think that says a lot.
yeah. I mean, he's for sure. He was planned that for 5 years straight. It's just like I have to be insanely careful. I mean, you say when Hexo went out to lunch with him and when we were in London, he didn't even pay for. He wasn't going to pay for that. He wasn't going to like. There's no
Right.
way you could say that dude is giving any of us any money ever. And we needed.
Right.
And there's a bunch of people who legitimately needed that to be the case.
Right.
Like that. Like so that was all right for everybody's well-being. So hats off for that. You're right.
Continuing on the Ethereum FUD train. So I got this from JP Morgan. Ethereum upgrades have failed to boost network activity in a meaningful way. So is this solid market analysis, or is this JP Morgan FUD so they can buy more?
I'm pretty sure they're buying more.
Yeah. And when does an upgrade magically tomorrow we have
immediate results,
more new users?
Yeah. I mean, hold on. I don't know if it was exactly after the upgrade, but the BTC ETH ratio pumped 46% off the low. I mean, that's not what it is. 48, and now it's at 39. So yeah, I mean, I think it did have an impact, but like we said, it's regular people don't have money to play the casino, and I think what Big K said about ETH with, in the past it was, meme coins, NFTs, and NFTs have like died off. Nobody talks about that anymore. But I think there is a chance for revenue protocols to have their run. Things like, well, hopefully Fame, but
shout out
Aave,
well, Fame.
Fame, Fiat, Aave, GMX, like all of those protocols. There's plenty of them. You can go look them up. But any of the revenue protocols, any of the buyback, that they take the revenues and they buy back their token. Arthur Hayes talks about this recently a lot.
Pateas does that, I believe, right?
Pateas is awesome. I don't talk about it very much. I retweet them every once in a while, but
they do buybacks.
They do buybacks, and if you look at that chart versus Pulse, like it is an amazing, beautiful looking chart. And the team is awesome. They never engage in like the bullshit that this community does. So shout out to them. And they just had another upgrade where they made the routing even better. I think it was today or yesterday that they posted about it. So
and stuff like that. I will say, as you can see, there are things that are easy just from the implicit evidence that we see on Pulsechain. There are things that are easy to copy, and there's things that are easy to have a version of. I mean, there's a lot of dexes out there, right? It's doesn't seem that hard. I'm not saying it's not impossible to run, or it's not a difficult process to get it to be doing, but that's a thing that's out there. But on Pulse, we don't there's only a couple really good aggregators, and Fame is Fiat Pateas is premier. They're premier at that right now, and it shows. You can go check. They're still kicking ass. Same thing goes with the other products that you were mentioning. I've heard a lot of people talk shit at the PH crew, Buck and them, and say, oh, we're gonna do it better, or we're gonna release our own GMX thing, or we're gonna release our own Aave fork. Where that shit at? And nobody be able to do it. Because it's hard. It's harder than all that other shit. So I'd love to see some competition, but even there, Buck's sure, bring the competition, but it ain't there. So those products are good products, and they work super well. And I mean, there's some things on Pulse that I got into, messed around with, and whatever. But those you keep coming back to use because they work and are useful liquidity tools.
Yeah, they people can point at the price. I'm invested, and so yeah, I get the price chart sucks, right? I know that. I felt it, but the protocols work. They haven't been exploited, and so they do.
I mean, if you're using it as intended, especially something like a Fame, you're making back decent enough, weekly, monthly, whatever you want to, in fees. So, at least you're earning that back. Yeah.
Right.
Price chart sucks, but what are you going to, you're trying to sell your,
And not only
golden
that,
goose that's making you the money.
Right.
Like
Yeah, you
things
need the
will get
token to be
better.
able to earn you the fees. So
Right.
Yeah, these things will, as volume comes in and as people do have more money to spend, like that, those will do considerably better. So
And-
like it's
And I really like fiat. So just the idea of like an Aave, which is it's an Aave fork, right? Where you could put up collateral. So even if you don't have the token, you put up collateral and then you can borrow against it. Like, dude, that's awesome, right?
Yeah.
That's revolutionary. I know it's been a few years since Aave's been out, but that is like truly a game changer of an innovation in all of finance. Like amazing. I don't have to ask anyone. I sign a few transactions. Boom. I have my loan.
instant liquidity. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, and so I think it's beautiful. I think
We
Dylan's
have a
bought his
bunch
car
of,
off of doing a fiat or fiat loan.
yeah. We have a bunch of great protocols. We got, I guess, the Power City guys, and
Yeah,
the Power City's got HEX, DC,
All
that's-
the
The
different
Flex.
protocol, yeah.
flex and earn and
Yeah.
and,
yeah,
you
we
know,
got
and all that
Earn,
stuff.
we got
That
the
stuff all
liquid
works
loans.
too.
So if you have
I mean,
Pulse,
and those
you can-
need volume too. So like
Yeah.
those they all work. They haven't been exploited, right? And okay, yeah, the prices suck, whatever, but the protocols work. So you have to give them credit for that. The teams are still around, even liquid loans. A lot of people give them crap, and in some sense, you can understand why. But
Still
they're
works.
still here. And it works, and you can use it. And so yeah, I mean, when prices pump and volume comes back and people are playing the game, like, yeah, those protocols are probably going to get used a lot more, and it should get pretty exciting. So I'm hopeful. We'll
and the
see what
fees
happens.
that you
but,
earn will become more valuable as well.
yeah, and
Yeah.
if you get in now, you probably have a better opportunity to make more when things do turn. I mean, they can't be. I mean, I guess they can always go lower, but prices are pretty low as they are.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, when you look at some of the market caps of like super solid working protocols near $1 million, you're like, no, that doesn't seem right. It just doesn't. So, I mean, yeah, I do think that the usefulness is there. I think people will come in to use it, but you're right, Yash, that we need people to feel like they have the liquidity again.
And it's really nice seeing like all these like bridge options coming about.
Yeah.
That's been great. And Coast, that's another team that's been doing
Coast,
phenomenal work. They had a
Mhm.
period where their currency depegged, but that wasn't really their fault. It was regulatory side that they got dropped, but they fixed it. And
There's opportunity too. I made a little money buying the.
I bought the dip, and I made money on a stable coin. It worked out. But
Turns out it was stable in the end.
Well,
But,
so I know this isn't going to change anyone's vocabulary, but we should really be calling it fiat coins, not stable coins. None of these stable coins are actually stable. They all, the dollar index drops and rises all the time. It's not. There's lots of inflation. It's not really stable.
When I'm talking to people and onboarding them, I usually try and use like the risk on and risk off assets. Like there's risk on stuff and there's risk off stuff. Not to say that the risk off stuff doesn't have a bunch of tail risk, but like, that's just for what you're financially trying to use them for.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. I think that I'm stoked. Like Coast is just about to cross there, like $10 million bridged into Pulse, and like I remember when that was like not very long ago, it was like, oh sick, they got $1 million across, so like that is any way that people come in without using those with those other bridges is great. It reduces the the tail risk of bridge issues, so
yeah, some of them are cross-chain swaps, and so you don't have that once the swap executes, you have your tokens, and so you don't have the bridge risk, right? So that's good. And yeah, I've used Coast. It worked well, and I was able to do a quick swap right on the platform to get my PLS to be able to do transactions, and like that was awesome. So yeah, it worked. And if you're bringing in, I think maybe it was 10 grand at the time or something that I brought through, and it worked very nicely, smoothly. Didn't have to worry about slippage. Like it was good. So
Thoughts on those protocols, Vince, or not involved, involved,
Oh
fame?
yeah, I mean, I use them a lot. Like I use Flex and Earn a lot. Pretty much every day, like I just kind of like I farm a little bit and then just recompound. So yeah, the prices do suck because because they're the native token always just inflates. But I mean yeah, it's just waiting for things to the cores to pump so that everything else tied to it can pump as well. So I'm not too worried about that. And then yeah, I love Coast. Use it every time I need to take some profit or put some money back into the ecosystem. So and it's great to just not have to eat the 0.3% bridge fee and use Coinbase.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to pump when there's 90 hours of sell pressure per week. So maybe we
sell
can
pressure.
sell pressure. Let's talk a little more good news and overall markets. I like Ryan Diedrich from Carson Research. He's often hated. He's like with Tom Lee. They have been bullish and right over the past couple years, and Ryan put out this tweet or X post, whatever you want. Some fodder for your favorite bear as we head into June when the S&P 500 gains more than 5% in May like this year. The next 12 months have never been lower and gained nearly 20% on average. No month has better future performance after a 5% gain. And look at that pretty little chart. So what lies ahead for the next month, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months in 2025? History says we may have some more good times ahead. We just need to be a little patient and let all this tariff nonsense sort itself out. But yeah, I like little notes like that, especially with a decent background data set that it pulls from. So, any thoughts on that? Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I know I follow Tom Lee as well. And what he also says is that they basically the stock market, the risk assets, they have to pump because majority of the taxes come from the wealthiest people in America, and a lot of their gains come from capital gains, right? And so if these risk assets don't pump, then the government can't pay its deficits, and the deficits are already at 7% to GDP, and they're already extremely high. So yeah, I mean that again, more reason for the prices to go up. They're just going to print more money when there's no other option. And obviously, they don't literally print more money. They always come up with some mechanism to do it, but that's the layman's term, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm bullish.
I saw a good chat. I believe it was just yesterday. One of the financial networks, probably CNBC, but guy was, still bullish on the USA, and I guess another guy was bullish on Europe. And he's like, if you have a wealth fund come in with tens of billions of dollars, maybe more than that, maybe 100 billion, whatever, someday. Where are you going to put that? You can't put it into Europe. It's not big enough. Like we have companies that are bigger than their worth. So U.S. is where the liquidity is. The U.S. is where that money is going to go. And I thought that was a interesting and accurate perspective because I hadn't really thought of it like that before. But yeah, that was a cool little thing I caught there. What else? What else do we have? Oh yes. So we mentioned this in the green room, but I was curious to get y'all's takes on this. And quickly, shout out to the chats. We got a lot of OGs in here. The ladies showed up for happy hour. So we got Crypto Class is in here. What is going on? Crypto Stylist is in here. Long time. Also for Hex Siren is in here. And Knipples. Knipples is here. Didn't mean to mention you with the ladies. Perhaps it was, intentional. Perhaps it wasn't. LOL. Good to see a bunch of old schoolers in here. And I saw HP in here. Where's HP? HP Morgan, Hex Wizard, Ewok. HP is working them off. So good for you. Hope all is well down yonder, HP. Maybe we can get together this summer. What is next? Yeah, let's talk about this real quick. All right. So, FTX, bankruptcy creditors. Here's how to claim your share of the $5 billion payout starting. Wait, that's today. Tossed it around in the green room, but what is the panel's reaction or way of thinking as to what people will do with these funds? I think BitGo and Kraken are, I guess, the first to be credited. Maybe they're the only two. I haven't read the entire thing in detail. But will people stay in crypto, or will they use these funds and just cash right out? I've talked to a hedge fund manager, and he seems to think that this money will actually stay in crypto because we're in the middle of a bull run. And most of you know who that hedge fund manager is. I thought that was an interesting take on it. My initial reaction is the opposite, where they're just going to take the money and run because they got burned, and they'll take what they can get, even though it's a small percentage of what they once had. You were saying, Yash?
I tend to agree with that.
Yeah.
Are they? So I know with
They're paid in crypto, I think, and what their initial crypto was.
Yeah.
So if you were holding on to like a bunch of Solana on there, you're probably like, G money here, dog.
Yeah.
You're like, hit that sell button all day. You can hit it for the next 6 months and be happy. If you maybe we're holding, I don't know, say Ethereum. Well, it was actually worth more then, so you might be like, oh, maybe I'll just hang on to this and wait.
You're buying lower,
specific to what you held.
Kind of might be more specific to what your bag situation is.
Good point.
Yeah, I think they'll be likely to hold on to it. So with the GMX redistribution, I think they were paid in dollars. So is this different where they're paid back in the crypto that they had?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's actually in crypto.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the case, I think a lot of it will just stay where it is. And what Big K just said about the Solana versus Ethereum, that makes sense, right? Like if you could take a bunch of profits, and Solana, since the Trump coin is just, it really hasn't had the same narrative. So, yeah, I mean, going forward, I'm sure it'll do fine, but it's really not the conversation. I think Ethereum will eventually make a run here again to the next fib level versus Bitcoin. So another.
What are we looking at? I don't have my fib levels 32 on my chart.
So this is Ethereum versus Bitcoin, and it should, maybe another 30% here within the next. So weekly. Go into. It's kind of top down. By the end of summer, probably.
Right. By August.
Yeah, August, September. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Probably by then.
I'll take a 30% and 10% a month or whatever that is. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean it'd be sick to see it make a run over like the 040 line for the end of the top of the market. I don't think we go over 5% of a Bitcoin for Ethereum this cycle.
Do we make a new high in ETH?
Like in
if
USD
we don't,
value?
then that would be very. If any of what we just said happened, then that would be very bad for everything.
Yeah,
we got to bust like 4,100 ETH, right? No, wait, I'm sorry. Yeah, 4,100.
Well, yeah. I mean,
no,
45.
Sorry. I did not go back far enough.
Yeah, 45.
Almost
45.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I need to zoom out.
Well, depending on which one you're looking at. On Coinbase, it went to 48.
Hmm.
But anyway, yeah, I mean,
mean,
it depends on the liquidity. Is if what
You're
I think,
correct. Sorry.
yeah,
48.
yeah. If what
Bitcoin,
I think happens, then yeah, we're definitely getting new all-time highs.
if Bitcoin hits $1.60 and we get to and Ethereum gets to 0.04, then we would be at like $6,400 for Ethereum.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm all aboard that
So,
train.
you know, that sounds reasonable. Like, does people want to see insane numbers, 8 grand, 10 grand, all that shit? Yeah, people would love that. You know, I'd love, $100 HEX too. You know,
I'll take it 10-cent hex. Let's go
exactly.
let's get to an
10
all-time
cents.
high.
Can we just get above a penny? Like, is that
Right.
fucking
You
That
know?
would be fantastic.
Yeah,
Hello,
just
sell
chill.
pressure.
Hello, sell pressure.
Crying and whining while pressing the sell button. I see.
Crying and whining while pressing sell. Oh man. All right. Well, speaking of, how about that guy? Because since Big K, you and I were last on, we finally saw a return of sorts of the king. It was not a live stream. That's what we all yearn for one day. I don't think we're gonna see that until the Interpols is done. But we did get us a little video, and it was good to see the man. And he was talking current events at that time. I guess it was a few weeks ago now. Looks good, smiling, all that stuff. He kind of hinted at doing a video because he was asking about camera equipment in his funny little ways in the days leading up to it. And yeah, so I hope he does more of that. I'm also surprised that Sun God had a comment here. Odd that RH didn't tweet about the Sui hack, which I thought was rather interesting because usually he just jumps right on that stuff. But that aside, maybe we can talk about that as well. What would you make of the return of King Richard Big K? Will we see more of this? If we do, how much more? When live stream? Is he, even with these current events like the Sui thing and, so much going on in crypto, he's, not really, I mean, he'll put out posts and stuff like that, but, one video, like over the course of like maybe weeks and or months, that's not going to satiate the Hexkin's appetite. So, what say you on what do you think the RH appearances and actions will be like in the coming months?
I would like to see more of him.
More.
I'm gonna give me. I mean, it's like my thought is that he's been very careful. Like the Interpol stuff is really like just annoying. All right, it's just fucking annoying. All right, because like what I want to see. And like, if I have my way, or what I'm interested to see, what his thoughts are on all this, is like he's been careful with his language and obviously what he's paying for marketing and the rest for 5 years now, right? He hasn't paid for shit. It's all you, everything else. Well, like now that's not the issue. It's not like in some ways the narrative of like, you do it's like no expectations, like that was for a clear reason, so like
100.
I'm not here having expectations. I'm not trying to change the game myself here, but I do want to say it does seem like a door is open for the game to be changed and for him to come at this from a different angle, a possibly more hands-on one, as he has mentioned the prowess that he has in this department. I sure would love to see, the champ return to the ring and really, like as he's said, like unless people are annoyed with the shit that you have to like hating on you for your message, then like you're obviously not getting through to people. So like, dude, show me how. Let's do it. I'm excited to see what that looks like. You know, I would love for people to hate us more because we're in front of their faces way more than they expected that for us to be. Like that's like that would be my vision for it. You know, I really want him to, you know, like make that so, you know. And I'm willing like give some like besides postcards, man, like which I donate to, you know, like I'm a fan
Send
of. Let's do
postcards.
it.
I'm cool with them being sent out after
cool
this
with
SEC
that,
stuff.
you know,
is,
I'm all good with that. But like, I'd love for like, let's do some, let's give me some more angles to work. You know, I'd love that. You know, so you know, don't say, you know, whatever that means. I'd like to see some more guidance, some more leadership initiative along the way through it all. That would be cool, you know, actively. But again, I get it. I'm not here again. I'm not expecting anything or anything. Some live stream would be cool. Again, what was cool about Richard was, you know, one of the things that we liked the most is that having him interact with other people and other people's perspectives that might be it might be more mainstream or more, or, you know, counter what we're trying to get across was good. You know, that like having those kind of interactions in society period is awesome, you know. So like I would like more, obviously live stream good, you know, interviews and debates better, you know. So whatever that all looks like, I don't know.
I'm seeing in the chat that somebody that is a ginormous fan of your postcard endorsement is Crypto Class.
Well, you know, it's, again, like I said, I do remember the last time around people sent mailers out, and like there was a moment in time there where the general crypto community was like, would get that postcard and be straight up pissed. They'd go on the internet
Yes.
and they'd post a picture of it and be like, fuck these guys. And you'd be like, yeah, fuck us.
I think what happened to the first round of the mailers.
You know, like that was great. You know, that was like, that was when you're like, we are getting through these, you know, like
Yes,
we're
yes.
we're definitely pushing through. And like
The
that
original
so like,
outrage marketing.
Yes.
yeah.
That's
and
the
like,
good outrage marketing,
Yeah.
to where you do it for us.
Yeah.
Like
I agree. And listen, there's ways to do it that they're tactfully and not tactfully. Like I'm not saying we should all go like Jehovah's Witness style and start knocking on people's fucking doors.
Yes.
You know, that's because like you know how many people they like convert through that shit is like a straight goose egg. You know.
Yeah.
Have you
like,
found some
like,
heart today?
Yeah.
Have you sought some heart? Yeah.
So I'm not advocating for that. You know, you don't want to throw away a mailer, go ahead. You know, ideally you hate on it further and post about it or something. You know, but ideally you buy then after that. But you know, but whatever. I think that's all stuff that like could be shored up a little bit in some ways. We could have some better direction, and I'd like to see that. I'm not against the postcards. I think that's just one of many awesome ways to reach people. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's one
and
of many
especially
ways
if you're targeting, like you're actually doing targeting, not like blanket into the hood or something. Like you're actually targeting wealthier zip codes, and there's no harm in that.
Free HEX shirts to homeless people here. You know, that's not what we're trying to do. It doesn't actually get us to where
Not exactly the ideal target audience.
No, that's not who we want wearing our shit. But I digress.
Yeah. Let's digress.
Anybody else?
Yeah, Yash. What say you?
Yeah. Well, so as far as like Richard coming back, it was great to see him, you know, on video.
Yes.
And what I said is, I would love, since now he's open to doing, you know, his face on video again. Like anytime some news breaks, you know, it'd be great to see a 5-minute video from him that we could easily spread. That's you know, it's short enough for people to consume and digest. He's great at communicating. His tweets
especially
just
that
don't
Sui
hit hard
thing, because Sui's hot, and I have some. I mean,
yeah, me too.
It was the chains coins that really took the brunt of it. But yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and so like, you know, if he comes out and he does a video, because you know, if he's not doing live streams because of Interpol, like fine. You know, that kind of video, that opportunity is there. That would be great to see. And
that is true.
And then the other thing is what I think he's missing out on a big opportunity. And I get the Interpol stuff, but I do have to still make this point, is the reason why Hex really took off, in my opinion, was when news would break in the past in 2020, 2019, 2018, like anything would happen. Richard would tweet, I'm going live in 10 minutes, hop on. Everyone would get excited. You're looking forward to it. You know, you're putting it on your phone while you're at work, and you're listening to it, even though you know you're supposed to be working, but you're tapped in, right? And he would just capture this great energy, and everybody gravitated towards it. That's where we became a community, and we all kind of got along back then. And you know, I don't think we're gonna go back to that kumbaya kind of period, but we can still, you know, we can still rally when something like this happens. And Richard really took advantage of that, and he was able to bring in a lot of new people. And so, yeah, I would love to see him stream again for that reason. You know, and if until then, you know, put out a short video for us to, you know, share out there. It'd be really great. And then as far as like the postcards go, you know, Vince and I
boy.
did work on writing up the postcards. We spent
Yeah,
a
we did.
very long time.
Many months.
Yeah. Days working on those, and so we have the templates ready to go. We just haven't. So we were actually ready to push them out, but then you know, Richard came out and basically killed the liquidity and killed
He
the
killed
share
the
rate.
staking aspect of it.
Yeah,
Like,
the
that's
stake.
when he did all this
Yeah.
huge OA.
And so we were like, we just spent
APY,
so
right.
much time doing all this
We
and coming up with the
killed
perfect verbiage.
everything
Like
we
we
worked
took
on.
all of his, he had a Twitter, he had a tweet where he like, this is, you want features, not benefits, or yeah, you
Oh
want
yeah, I
benefits,
remember
not
the one.
features, and all this stuff.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah,
this is
yeah.
how you market. And we took all that, we pushed it into, you know, AI. We got it. The wording was amazing. It is beautiful. And then he was like,
Those
"Yep,
beautiful postcards.
Yeah, Grok.
no, you know, 48% staking. Nope, it's all gone. 38%, whatever it was. Nope, that's done. APY." And so, yeah, you know, we were just waiting. And now that we have SEC clarity, like, you know, maybe it's time that we come back and, you know, write it up again.
With
Or make some
SEC
edits.
clarity as like
Yeah.
one of the perks.
Huge, right? And
Yeah.
we could put that in bold right at the beginning.
Yeah, you're gonna have to. You gotta have something to get rid of that APY part. You know.
Yeah, something.
Cut, paste, and
You
paste
know,
in
so yeah, and I get the criticism, but you know, if you didn't pay for the postcards, which you probably didn't, because I was one of the people that volunteered to pay for it. So, you know, you can complain all you want, but it's not your money, so don't worry about it.
I put money in it, and I'm not complaining at all. Like you
Yeah,
know, it's
there
just
you
hard
go.
to put it all together. They'll come when they come, hopefully at a decent time. And if they don't, you know, like shit, man, the
Yeah.
game is tough. It's like this is difficult to market when things change as often as they do. And
I think the postcards get especially a bad rep just because the prices are so low and everything was just so really bad. Like when Richard would come out and say, just do some postcards, it was like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? Like postcards is going to fix this. So I think they just get an extra bad rep for that reason.
He's like, listen, guys, I want you guys to stay busy, but don't spend too much time and money staying busy. So here's a cheap way to
Two
keep
marketing punching bag.
It's just
of
two
the
postcards,
community.
all right? And we're gonna. No, I don't know. I mean, like, and yeah, that's the thing too. It's also like cliche or kind of thing, or like ironic kind of thing to say like, hey, you know what's awesome is you should market using postcards. Market what? Oh, you know this internet thing. You're like, okay, why? Wait, what? You know?
Yeah.
So I get that there's like, you know, and but why not? I mean, why not? Why not? You know, that's another thing.
Why not?
Is that you know what we haven't really done either is mass email like marketing blasts. You know, I feel like that was something that Richard was like, that's how he made his money, right? That's how one of the things he was into was
true.
You know, so like I feel, I mean, I know that there's a lot of spam stuff out there that filters all that shit nowadays, but I do feel like you could, if you're tactful about it, there's definitely ways to get through to people.
I mean, Hex did go to 56 cents and everybody does know about Hex. It's just that, you know, so like it did work, right? Whether you didn't like the outrage marketing or you did, or you thought it was funny or whatever, you know, the postcards, the streams, the fighting on the interviews and all that stuff, the debates, like
I missed that so bad.
Yeah, like right
Yeah.
now, I would love some outrage marketing from Richard. You know what I mean? Like, bring it on, dude. Like,
Yeah.
do something, right?
Hmm.
Far Out Aliens had a great comment back here because I know, and maybe Yash, you do too, that through Real Vision, Raoul Pal has his AI chat bot where you could, and it's audio, I believe, but you can ask Raoul anything and he would answer it like he would because there's so much content out there to pull from. And yeah, can't we just make RH in Chat GBT right now? We can stream them every day if we make
I
that
think
prompt, and then you have like weeks and maybe months of live stream content that I don't, I'm no developer or whatever, but if they could do it for Raoul Pal,
Well,
I think they
Hexo
could pull
has this
enough.
kind of.
Yeah,
It's like a funny kind of way that he did
yeah,
it.
it's the fun. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's like a video of Richard, and it'll like you ask Richard a question, AI
yeah.
Richard, and it comes up with a funny response. But it's
they
like
make fun of you
something
and
Richard might say, and
Right.
it's pretty close, and it's good. But yeah, so I mean, yeah, I agree that's it's possible.
The
But still, that's nice. But we really do need our number one marketer back.
100%. I kind of said that like half tongue in cheek,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I mean, I've seen Raul do it, and it sounds just like him, and it responds just like he would, and it'd be for those with a yearning desire, and you must have your RH in your life. Maybe somebody could build something for you that is more serious than the Hexo thing, but it's still I did forget about Hexo's little
There's
there.
a guy in the community that does what he claims is $600,000 worth of free work. Maybe he could do something about that.
Yes.
I
Oh
mean,
boy.
I'm not trying to have expectations over
Well, some people have expectations.
it. Some people do,
Yeah.
I get that. I'm just excited when anything happens. I'm just like, keep your expectations low, people. Then you'll be much happier in life, and then when anything nice happens, you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Well, yeah, like any little pump that we get, regardless of like we've been so low for so many years now, but any little pump we get, the Moon Boys come out and it's like we're going
Yes.
to $10, right? Like let's get to a penny, right? And then if we can get to a penny, let's try to go for 2 cents. And then if we get to 2 cents, let's try to go for 3 and break the all-time high in the Pulsechain charts, right? Or whatever your favorite RH ticker is, right? Let's
XPOW.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, I get it. We want to be moon boy bullish, and setting crazy targets makes it somewhat more likely that you'll hit a slightly higher than expected target or a reasonable target, right? Like saying hex to $1 and then hex went to 56 cents, like okay, but we're pretty suppressed. Let's just get to a penny.
That was the old 10,000x, right? So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've said it on this channel probably for like over a year now, maybe more, like 2-3 cents. Like if we can break that, the fun begins, because that has just been like we've gotten above 2 a few times, but we can't really get past that 3 level. If we get past that level, like we're gonna have some fun, I think. So interesting.
Indeed.
Super Hex, what is up, my OG? Do you guys think this tweet from Richard is to fund marketing campaigns? And the tweet is, I wonder who has a registered charity or similar type of nonprofit entity that might want to spread the good word about free and open source software. Here, many countries offer discounts for such activities. Who might know someone? So there you go. And then, of course, we have a wonderful gift from Crypto Coffee down there. And I guess I muted somebody, some clown. Oh yeah. Anyway, let's get that out of there. Anyway, so yeah, any thoughts on that before we go on? Super Hex's tweet there. Who knows? I mean, it's
Who
just
knows?
opinion.
Richard is very cryptic, and another credit to him. Like I think we forget this. Like before Richard came out, like so the SEC news broke that he's being targeted, and that was over a year ago, and a long time went by, and we thought Richard wasn't going to do anything, and then one day he just surprised us and said he has this all-star team of lawyers, right? And that's we had a really nice pump at that time. Um, but so that's one example. But Richard's done that a lot, where we really have no expectations, and then he comes out with some pretty cool things. And so he just surprises us randomly. So is this one of those things? I don't know. Maybe it's a cryptic tweet until something happens in the future, and we're like, oh, you can look back and say, oh, this makes more sense now. But it's not something that I will take action on, right? It's not going to make me invest more or sell. Like it's a non-event. It's just like I read it. Okay, cool. We'll see what happens, right?
Agreed. I didn't go and start another registered charity for
Postcards.
I mean,
when return of Hex Bingo.
oh yeah,
Yeah, that's old.
Man, we get over 3 cents, and I'll fucking do some. I got a wallet still set up with a bunch of shit that would be worth it for that still. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll I'd love to do some more of that. That was fun.
When joke,
But we need some life here, people. We need a little life out here. So yeah,
that's what this show's about. We're trying to bring some life.
Oh no, we're doing a
fun
great
back
job.
to this
I think
community. This community
I enjoy
deserves
our
it.
time here, and I don't think we, I enjoy when we come out and hang out and do this, and I thank God we don't have to do it very much more often than we do. If we were like on a regular every weekly schedule, I don't know if I could handle it, man. So
we used to do that, Big K.
We used to, man. We used to. Well, maybe
prices were a lot
maybe,
higher back then too.
That's and because of that, there's a lot more to talk about. So like
yes,
we've rolled a lot of the information. Like this has been great, And at 90 minutes later, and I'm like, I feel like we got most of what the hell is going on out. I got our takes on it, and like build and I can maybe, hey, Richard, I see where you're coming from. Maybe a one video a month or so, or whenever there's something like that is enough, because I don't feel like I need to. We'll be good for another couple weeks at least unless some crazy shit happens, And
yeah, I do like Yash's idea of just at least something like short, sweet, shareable.
That's true, because that's what got me in. What it was, a video clip of him saying something meaningful that I was like, oh shit, this dad was right. He was right, and I was wrong, and I used to think this way, and I heard this, and now it changed my fucking mind, and that was super. I mean, I tell the story regularly because it hit like a ton of bricks, So being able to have those moments with people, even if it's not about getting them to immediately buy the coin that you made, I think is super valid. And if you want to be a thought leader and then you got to keep putting out the content.
Yeah, I think that Sui opportunity that somebody brought up earlier was actually the perfect example, because he could have put out maybe just a few minute video. You introduces himself. Hey, Richard Hart. Okay, you know his name. Why should we listen to you? Oh, I'm a founder. I beat the SEC. Bullet points like that. Just a couple of them. This is why you should listen to me. And then talk about, maybe some past great calls, which he has plenty of. And then, speak on the issue of question. Just a few minutes and boom. And then people can, use that tweet link, go and cordially or casually just drop that in the comments as to whoever else is posting about it with a note and be like, hey, this guy's opinion, he's been pretty dead on with a lot of other things. Here's what he thinks about this. That would be really cool.
Very helpful. Yeah.
What else is on the list here? So we're talking about, I guess, the cores and mainly, I guess, Hex and Pulsechain, but there are some other fun little tokens on the chain. So I just had a list of 3 here. I wanted to get individuals' comments on them. I have one for each of you, if it's okay. Yash, you already talked about this one, but just any other thoughts on Payouts, and then I'll get the other 2 guys to comment on some other coins.
Well, the team,
Because I did
they
see, I don't know if Dev Danny, I don't know if he was like kind of half joking today, but he mentioned like staking could be in a few months, or was that just, to appease people and just be like, get off my back, we're deving.
I don't know. He's mentioned it in the past, quite a bit. Not quite a bit, but he's mentioned it in the past. And they're working on a few things. They did have that sacrifice for P Day, I think.
Yes.
And so, they are working on other things, and they just don't talk about that all the time. That's just things that they do. And then, when they're ready, they just launch. And so they are doing things that are pretty cool. And when he says they're going to do something, I have a pretty strong, high confidence that they probably will do that. Just a matter of time. And so, we see them coming up with updates and upgrades pretty regularly now. We've seen quite a few in the past few weeks, and so
Yeah, it's not like they've disappeared.
yeah, they haven't. So yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, there's a lot to be excited about with those guys. They're just very low key about it, and they're when they write up on Twitter, it's usually a little bit longer format. They're not just like really catchy tweets, so you have to read it a little bit, and so that's kind of their style. And so for somebody that wants to try to find good teams, good protocols, good devs, and is willing to put in the work and try to find opportunity, I think they would be attracted to somebody like Pateus, versus like a meme coin that's popular or a stable coin that's not stable and it's actually a shit coin, or people that launch coins and then they rug them and stuff like that. People aren't really interested in that anymore. We're tired of it. And somebody like Pateus, that they do a good job. So yeah, I would, if you can, pay attention to them, look into them. I think they're pretty cool.
Nice. Vince, I've got a coin for you,
Oh boy.
sir. It is the ultimate meme coin of the RH ecosystem. Can you talk to us a little bit about your thoughts on Most? Is it the most greatest meme ever?
Oh, I thought you were going to ask me about something like Helgo or something.
We can do that too.
Well,
That can be arranged, sir.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know a lot of like technical specifics on Most, other than the fact that it's one of the earliest ones launched on pump.tires. But apparently, like the original wallet that launched pump.tires launched like 12 or 13 coins, including Most, I believe. And so, yeah, it was obviously it came out before the whole SEC case being won by Richard. So there's this whole sort of meme narrative about Richard being like the most wanted. So that's kind of how it got its initial narrative. And yeah.
Do you consider it a RH core coin?
Well, not an actual core, but I'd say maybe like core meme coin if it's in its own
Like just
class, I guess.
A small step below, like
yeah, one tier,
Pulsechain.
I guess 1 or 2 tiers below.
Right.
Yeah, so but then I don't know. I feel like all the pump out tires coins have kind of fallen to the wayside a little bit in terms of like community attention. At least I personally don't hear a lot being talked about.
And really, I mean, it was I think late to the party on that, no doubt. But I'm glad something like that is on Pulsechain.
Yeah,
it can't hurt. So.
Seems like they all had like one good run, and then I guess they're just waiting for
So the two questions I have about Most: does the price go up or down if Richard gets busted for tax fraud?
That's a good
question. That's a good hedge coin then. Yeah. Hedge your HEX with Most.
Yeah.
I'm saying So
that's an interesting thought there. Yeah. We see Richard in cuffs at an airport.
Yeah, price up or price down. I don't know. I was like, they drop the charges. Does the price go up or down then too?
Yeah. Oh, fun fact. We were talking about the whole Interpol thing earlier. I just casually Googled a while back and found out that basically if Interpol doesn't do anything, it just takes 5 years, and then the red notice falls off.
Just 5 years. It's okay. Yeah.
It's just
No
another
problem.
cycle.
No
Yeah,
problem.
we've been here that long already.
Yeah, what's another 5 years?
My first 15 years won't even be up yet.
Well, Vince, I was going to go to Big K, but you might be a nice segue for Big K's coin. So, did you have anything to say about the Hell Goat,
Well,
which has performed rather
very well
well?
performing.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's
It's been gaining in ratio versus HEX, which is the coin that it's tied most to in liquidity, and it's just a fun little coin because there's this dude called Helgorian in Telegram, and he became the sort of all-star of the Rect Hex Plebs channel, just because he would he basically wore his heart on his sleeve, and every time Hex went down, he complained, and it seemed like his life was over. And then every time Hex went up, he would be like, "Oh, like Hex is the greatest thing ever." And allegedly, he hails from Turkey, so his English wasn't the greatest. So
That's the best part of it.
Yeah, and the white paper was styled in his writing style, so it's full of like grammatical and spelling errors, and there's even a reference to.
But
me
it makes perfect
in the
sense, and it's totally on brand.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's a fun little coin.
Yeah,
I threw some into the launch phase, and it's been doing well. So
Yeah, awesome. Well, with that said, with things that could possibly amplify your hex positions, Big K, what are your thoughts on another possible coin that could increase your hex bags? Because we would all like our hex bags to get larger, would we
do
not?
like bigger hex bags.
Yeah, we do like bigger hex bags. What is your take on Sparta? Oh,
I like it. I like the I mean, it's it's definitely hasn't made its next move up yet. It's kind of like got up to 10 cents or so, and it was chilling there for a while. I think that it needs some. It's like one of those things where any of those volume tokens needs some volume to start getting going, and I'm pretty sure that there's like a bunch of other stuff that they're planning on releasing. So I mean, like as others, it's like will it do pretty decent? Sure, and I'm sure that as other things come out and feed into it, you'll be like, oh, there'll be more hype about it too. So I mean, like I think it definitely has. I've got a bag of it, and I'm providing some liquidity for it too. So we'll see what happens.
I too have a bag, sir.
Yash, do you have a bag? Are you a Spartan?
I do not.
Oh no, Yash, what are you doing? You are not one of the 300.
Not everybody has to buy.
He's part of the Persian army.
I in general, I don't do the meme coins. So
I mean, I've loved to dabble in some shitcoinery.
I like things that can potentially get you more cores.
So, yeah, and as I've said, I've
the liquidity is mostly tied to Hex, right?
So
I believe so.
I've provided Hex
but
liquidity for
the
it.
founder would like more liquidity tied to other cores. I think perhaps Pulse X the last time I listened to one of the spaces. And that's a thing I like about Sparta too, is that the developer is a friend of this show. And a very smart cat, and does not mind talking to the community and his community, and is very active. And
that's very true. Is they're super active. I mean, and like a bunch of the dudes who have been in a part of it, have definitely been a part of a bunch of other tokens that have done well, on Pulse as well. They kind of seen some of the writing on the wall before a lot of people have. So, I definitely am like, oh, these guys are here. That's pretty cool. That's a good sign. So, and it's fun, like I say, like it's, if you're going to there's a bunch of different Hex chat rooms over the years that have provided me a fucking ton of great content and lots of enjoyment, and whether it be Rect Hex Plebs or, there's plenty of
that's a go-to there.
There's a bunch of great places. So, there's anyone that's providing some great content and offering the reinforcement that's needed along the way for people to feel like they're not making, because I mean that's the thing, is that like especially when prices are down, something that I attribute to me sticking it through Hex like early on and continuing to buy was the live stream stuff, was Hexologist streaming daily. Like I watched that daily, and like I was like, if I'm like, I'm going down with the ship with this dude, like if he's buying every day, then I'm buying it. I'm like, here I am too, doing it. And like, it's having self-reinforcement for the community definitely helps, because, it's, you want the good cats to stick around and provide content and tell other people about what's going on here. And like, it's like if you don't have a reason for that, then it falls. It's like, all right, so you just bought the thing, and maybe do something. But Hex has really been there's not many coins out there besides, like, you got Bitcoin and you got Ethereum, and then like there's very little else that have had a serious community for long periods of time that like last the test of time, that people are willing to wear the clothes and talk the talk and do the thing for. It just is, it's not super prevalent in any of this, so we've gone a long way already. And it'd be exciting to see how that really develops over the next 5-10 years.
Word could not have said it any better, Big K. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, like, and that's the thing is, as far as memes go, it's pretty. I'm super surprised when that it came, like Sparta came out, that I was like, wow, that's surprising that shit hadn't been done at all. Before. It's pretty. Seems pretty low hanging fruit, honestly.
And there we go. Well, gents, we've been here for like 90 minutes. It has absolutely flown by.
Yeah, it's been lots of fun.
Got one more topic, Big K, that I'd be very curious to get your take on. Yes, since you were involved in the original. What's going on with the highest of stakes right now, sir? Inquiring minds want to know. Have you distanced yourself from part 2, or what's going on?
No, I mean, like, man, I wouldn't not do a part 2. Like if there is a part 2, like I think it would be something that I would be interested in, being, if they want something from me, I'm all for it. That being said, I think that at the moment they're also trying, where like we have so much content already that I think that they had mentioned trying to do the subscription thing that would, like, just to get some of the, like, a low cost,
like episodes kind of thing.
Yeah, just like we have so much stuff. So like if you want a couple bucks, a cup of coffee.
This is from the first.
From the first one,
okay.
Like there's interviews at Richard's place with him. There's interviews all over the place with them. That like there's a ton of content that you're like, why the hell didn't we? Why can't we get this out to people and do it for like just not much? Just so that people can start getting it. And then like if there is demand for it, then we've got 2 years of good content for people. So like
I have not cracked my DVD set open. Is there any deleted scenes and stuff in there? Or
yes, there is quite a bit. If you go into there's quite a few. I had like a cool charity scene that was that was in there that didn't make it. There's a few different cool scenes that are in there that are in the director's cut stuff. And then like I said, that was just a little bit. I mean, they filmed a lot, so there's definitely a ton of information, like stuff that we could get out. That I think would be cool too. And then as far as 2 goes, I mean, if there's drive for it and people want it and there's somebody's gonna pay for it and whatever else, then I'm all for it. I imagine that I'd imagine that Richard is too. I don't know. We don't know. I'm not like saying I could for like, but like I like it unless there's like some reason why not to, but like I think it's like the story hasn't really fully lent itself to being completed yet, so like that would go a long way to help, helping to be like, if he's in some way, and all this is like, yeah, let's do this part 2 when there's a possibility for him to do it. Then that would be, I think that he's not going to do it if he's going to try and dip out and not, not like help make this a real success. So I don't know. I like to see it happen, but I don't know. I have no say in all that. I think it would be neat.
How about this idea
there's
from
a lot of content.
far out aliens? If they would just release it and charge 50 cents, it would already be memed and spread far and wide.
The thing is that
Here's the thing.
A distribution company and plan and how it all works. So that's why we're like, hey, there's all these, because there's a bunch of places around the world that don't have easy. I mean, yes, you can just
I see it in the comments.
We can VPN there to the US and to get it or whatever. But there's a bunch of people who can't, and I'm not advocating breaking the rules of whatever locale you are in to watch this silly movie, or fantastic peaks of artistic genius
of filmography.
But that's neither here nor there. We agree with you and feel the annoyance of all of it. If that can be politically correct in how I'm addressing it. And so therefore I think that I was all for the idea of having some of this content. There's, like I said, there's a whole movie worth of content that we don't have to worry about distribution, that we can just offer to people for a low cost, just some, cheap subscription thing. And then we can do it regularly and have people interact and, create have content that, can be shared as well, so, and of Richard too. That's not necessary. That feels fresh, it's not necessarily old stuff. So I think that all that would be is like the goal, that I think I'm pushing. That's what I'm pushing for. I think that would be hopefully we can reach the whatever the impressions that they need on the account to get us there. And it seems like some of the choice of content that they've used has gotten a lot of volume, whether it be positive or negative. There's quite a bit of interaction there. So, good job, guys. Keep interacting. Keep letting everyone know your opinions. Do it with your likes and retweets and whatever you want to comment there. I'm enjoying reading all of it. So
have I. So have I, Big K. The feedback has just been wonderful to read. Not saying it's been positive, wonderful. I'm just saying wonderful to read.
It's nice to see that people have opinions.
My feedback from the first movie is one of my favorite parts is when Big K, and I'm not just saying this because we're friends, Big K, but it's when you were doing your piece talking about, going from mining Bitcoin in your basement. I think that was one of the best scenes, right? And they cut back and forth a couple times, I think, to, you talking. And I think if there's a part 2, I would love to see your role increased because I think you're a great storyteller. But there's a lot of other parts of the first movie that I don't care for. Obviously, Richard has to be involved in the second one. So if he's not there and there's another main character or something, that to me doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
Especially if they're not the main characters. And so, yeah, if they're going to tell a story, I hope hopefully it's told really well. I think there could have been improvements on the first one. But again, it's, I think, and again, I'm not just saying this because we're friends, but I do think you were very good at delivering your message. And some of the other parts there just seemed like it didn't really tell the story of HEX. It told a story. It wasn't the story of
the directionality was a little off.
Yeah.
Yeah. That I would. Yeah.
I can understand that. I mean, and they definitely were working from this, complete third party perspective, trying to get all of that feels. And it's hard to, I did my best to like I said, I did my best to be as authentic as I could and be as, have my message be as clear and concise. And I agree. I think that I love I thought a lot of like the bunch of the movie. But of course, I thought my shit was the best. I mean, I'm a little biased, I'm a little biased. And it was fun. And I am a fun, I enjoy storytelling. And and just
you don't have to try to be authentic, Big K. That's why everybody loves the Big K because you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, guys. I appreciate
Big K
that. And I would love to be.
If you've ever been, Big K parties are fun.
I don't know what you're talking about. Chicago was fun. Okay.
Oh yeah, we had a real ball there. Oh man. Yeah, so and that's the thing is I'd love to do more. I'd love to do more of that stuff. If they want to have me do some more stuff, I'm all for it. I think it'd be neat. I think that from all the stuff that we've talked about, I think that starting to get some content soon, and then really getting the full whatever this run is and where it goes to, I think would be is where there's gonna be a lot of great content to film. I mean, win or lose. The thing that's funny about movies is that if this shit just straight up crashes and burns, then a lot of more people are gonna watch it. That's for sure. People love to see pain and suffering for some reason. So I don't know. But no. I think that it's a great message and a great story that really could be told. And there's a lot of threads that could be finished and wound up in a more positive way than we left it all. That would be my hope for it all. I think that's definitely that was what I like. I don't know. I think there's more story to be told. I think the way that it got left off is definitely wants me I want more. I want to be able to tell more to it. So
yeah, I think there was really something special that happened during 2020, whereas the community came together, and I just don't feel like that story was told well enough. And I think that is the true story of HEX. And obviously there's a million different narratives. And since then, there's still plenty of story to tell. I just didn't, and maybe it's impossible to really convey what it was like for us to go through that period. But if that can be captured, I think that would have been, I think it would have been a little bit, I think it would have been much better received by the general, the group. And so I just say that, so if there is this part 2, hopefully they take that into consideration, because there's a lot of narratives that have come out since then. And if some meme coin somehow ends up in any of those narratives, I think that would kind of ruin it. Whereas the struggle for Richard versus the SEC should be obviously predominant narrative. Yeah. And so, yeah, it
has the most
direction.
Wanted crypto, so that meme would be okay to include.
Yeah. I mean, there's some things that you can add in there, and you can mention that there was a lot of memes and stuff and how it was received and the rug pulls. You can mention all the craziness because that's also a part of it. But there is definitely a feeling that we had in 2020 that just was not captured in the movie. And I don't know if it is something you can capture, but man, if they could really just nail that, and then capture the feeling of how much it's hurt and sucked that we've been so suppressed and hated on for this period of time during Pulsechain. If they can capture that, and then at the end,
a potential return to glory.
Yeah, that would, I would watch, this. I obviously watched the first one, and Big K was generous enough to give me a box set and all that. I haven't cracked it open yet either, so it's just pristine as it is. But yeah, I would rally around it. I just hope that some of the characters aren't turned into main characters that aren't main characters. That's my thing.
Yeah,
I think that
was one of the things that the community didn't like. That there were some characters in there that weren't actually in our community, so or at least at the time. So people felt they just.
Yeah, you can't relate to that.
Yeah, couldn't relate to them.
Yeah, Hexo wasn't in it, and he's a huge part in the community. And even a cameo, a little something, he should have been in there, right? Yeah. Then you got a bunch of interviews with people that nobody knows, and sure, it's nice to, it's nice to put different perspectives of people that are less involved, but to really capture what HEX was in 2020, you need the people that were there and streaming and talking and I don't know.
Yeah.
I agree. There's something that there's a feeling that comes along with that that is really hard to, get anybody else to explain
Yeah.
unless you're talking to somebody who's felt it.
Yeah.
Valid.
Yeah, like Motley's comment I pulled up earlier. Hex Rewind 2020 captured that feeling.
I
Yeah,
did like
he
that.
did.
That was great. That was a great choose.
Shout out to,
Might have to rewatch that again, but it was great.
Gosh.
Because like you get a set of like monthly green candles, like that feeling can come back. I know we're all like skeptical of that, but I think price does dictate a lot, and it would get a lot of people excited again. But we'll see. Never know. Maybe another 4.5 more years when Interpol's done, we can finally move. So no. I kid. All right.
Still 2,500.
Yes, that went. That was a great chat on that, Big K. Thank you for your input.
Appreciate y'all.
You expanded more than I thought you would, so I appreciate that, and it was a good banter in this group. So we're at an hour 45 right now. We're gonna land the plane here, but let's do like a little positive note. So as we go around, we shill ourselves. Where can we find you? All that stuff. How about like a community shout out for like a good actor in this community? Big K, where can we find you? Give somebody a good shout out, and if you're up to anything fun this weekend, let us know about it.
Oh, sure. I'm e-foiling all weekend. I got a buddy in town. No, actually I'm not. I'm actually going. Oh, I can't actually say anything about that. I cannot say anything about that. We'll tell you all about it later.
Yeah.
I'll give my shout out. I'll give to
#GreenRoom.
She's super. She's always been doing stuff in the community. Has been a super awesome member. She drives a bus around with the Pulsechain logo. It's pretty awesome.
She went to see the Bitcoins, I hear.
Yeah, she went to see the
and
Bitcoin.
was live streaming while driving, but it was hands free, I believe, so it was very safe.
I see Motley's in the chat. I'll give Motley a shout too. He's always done awesome stuff for the community. I threw a party and he didn't even show up and still sent money for it. So always awesome. Miss you, man. Wish you were here with us here too. Come back someday. I think it's cool now. I think it's all good.
Back, Motley. Come back. We miss you. Yash. Oh, Big K, did you tell us where we could find you?
Oh, you can find me here and at Big Krakowski on Twitter and Telegram, and like I said, hitting the web. No, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I don't have anything else fun coming up besides that. It's just chilling.
All right.
Kids are-
Motley says rain check back on the island. So there
Nice.
you go.
Good.
All right. Yash, where can we find you, sir, if you would like to be found? And give a little community positivity shout out if you would like.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to find me. It's fine. I'm just here.
We will find you on the
That's
X
code for I
with,
don't want to be found.
with
Yeah,
wonderful
I don't wanna be
commentary.
found. Yeah.
Yeah, you get great shit on X.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shit show sometimes. So I could be very serious, and then I can also be very not serious, and so I just don't want to deal with it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Thank you for having me here. I was also going to shout out SJ because I think she has a great energy, great positivity. So I was happy that she went to the Bitcoin conference because she's just very easy to get along with. Yeah, I think that was cool. And then another shout out, I want to Hex Wizard. He's someone I know in person, but he's super excited about Hex Pulsechain, and you'll find him Hex Wizard. I think that's his handle on Twitter. But he had the staff, the Hex staff that he had made like a wizard, and then he had the barbecue pit that he had made as like Hex logos on it and stuff.
Nice.
Beard like Gandalf?
Yeah. He trimmed it down a little bit, but yeah, he does have a white beard like Gandalf. So yeah, he's a great guy. I don't know. I can't think of anybody else. Everybody else sucks. I'm just kidding.
Ah.
Crypto Vince.
Yes, sir.
If you want to be found, let us know. But any positive shout outs as Hex Wizard takes his victory lap? From Yash.
Crypto369 on X and Telegram. And might as well shout out SJ too, because I know she just constantly does like nonstop promotion for Richard stickers in the community, and she did all that work with SciVive, doing the audiobook and stuff. So shout out to her, and shout out to my buddy Super Hex as well. Finally met him in Vegas a few months ago, and he's constantly shilling Hex and Richard stuff too over on Instagram. So shout out to him. As far as what I'm working on is pretty much just I have to go back and finish up the postcards, I guess, because we kind of Yash and I kind of left that a little unfinished after the last round of Richard's changes. So
We'll get to it.
Yeah, we'll get to it when we get to it.
Well, this has been lots of fun, gentlemen. I have a hamache sitting on ice that I'm about to carve up forever for my family here. So it's sushified. So
Nice.
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get it.
I gotta take my dog out because he's.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, hello, puppy.
Pup.
He wants me to feed him and take him out, so I think I'm going to do that.
Dig.
Alrighty.
Cutie. All right, y'all.
All right, man.
Thanks,
well,
Cabana.
we will see you, Big K. At the suggestion of Motley, I'm going to see if I can go ahead and play a little Hex Rewind 2020 as we close out. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Big K, Crypto Vince, and Puppy Dog. Hello,
Yeah.
hello, hello.
Hello.
Hello. Oh, dude.
What's going on?
Yes. And everyone in the chat, thank you for joining us.
Thanks, chat. I'm glad to see everybody out there. That's awesome.
The chat rocks. And
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, enjoy a little bit of Hex 2020. We will see you. Stay tuned to the socials at Cabana Crypto, wherever that is right there. And we'll let you know when Big K and I party it up on stream again and talk the cryptos. Like I said, I'm going to try to leave you with a little Hex 2020. Bring back the positive feels or keep the positive feels as we close out. Cheers, everybody. Do.
So you want to get rich.
Get out your phones, record me, download this episode. Hex are going to get wrecked. It is unbelievable how unethical this fat is.
Man, you need to just be quiet for a second. I'm going to try to keep you out of jail like I tried to keep Charlie Shrim out of jail. And this is why I was telling you how you are going to either get a cease and desist order.
Great.
Get
Then I'll
in hand-
cease and desist. But I'm not going to preemptively, I'm not going to be a really smart guy and read the law and put a lot of effort into it and do the best job I can as a human being to be thoughtful and considerate and build a new innovative product that
This
actually
isn't a
fills a
new
niche in the
innovative
need.
product. This is
Tell me the other blockchain CD.
look, you're calling it a blockchain CD.
Yeah.
But
it
it's
monetizes
not.
the time value of money. It's the only
No, it
cryptocurrency
doesn't.
I'm aware of that
No,
pays you more
man.
for locking longer.
Look, it's just some like 10th grade economics project.
Just confirms your scam that this is a
So if people exchange their
streamlined pump and dump bullshit that I thought were the only thing I'm amazed about, and the thing I give you a bit of credit for, that is if you found enough morons to put 4 million into this, and God knows how much more, like you found that
lot,
many
I hope.
morons who believe you're utter bullshit. And like
Right.
fair play, I know you fucked up, I know you got wrecked, you lost all your money. This is all you can do is to scam people to get out of it. But Richard, people are going to lose money because of you. People are going to lose money because of you. So either you're a fucking either you're a sociopath or a fucking criminal.
Richard Hart, you're a fucking scammer, just like everybody else. And I'm gonna make a video about it because you actually will never forget me, motherfucker.
No,
I thought it was funny when you were
I'm
sharing
an
your
angry
screen
guy with
in the
regards to
pre-show.
scammers like you stealing money from innocent victims. That's what I'm angry about.
Right.
And I'm
So
sorry,
you
but we
understand-
have to finish
You
now.
understand that HEX
I'm
is
sorry, and
a better
we have
project
to finish
than
now.
anything
So
else in
thank
crypto.
you for this discussion. And we've established that you are an MLM Ponzi scam.
What I think really HEX is having a negative impact on is confidence in this space. Because unfortunately with HEX, it's your classic get rich quick scheme. I mean, a lot of the wording on the website, if you look at it, it's constantly talking about very strong returns on investment. Every day, if you just kind of like, even look at this, HEX is the opportunity of a lifetime designed to do over 10,000x returns in under 2.5 years.
So in the extreme case that he does pull out, he still penalizes basically everybody else and just takes their money again.
How is this legal?
It's not.
So is he not going to go to jail?
That's why you have that video right there.
Well,
so
fat people are known to be sloppy, and we'll see.
Yep.
They don't get it. They don't understand. They have no idea.
Ahoy, crypto pirates. Welcome to your Discourse Syndicate. Captain RG3 and DT Crypto.
What is up, you guys?
What is happening?
How's it going? My name is Matt. Welcome to day 409 of my HEX journey. I hope you're doing all great.
Hey, everybody. Doing a HEX pep talk and walk.
In case you don't know who I am, my name is Silver the Antidote.
All right, we're live. Welcome, everybody. My name is Matty Allen, and we're live with special guest Kareem.
What's going on, everybody? Kareem is here, the Dream Master of Quick Math.
Because of my head injury, I was being treated from all these different medications, and I had actually become suicidal. So in the middle of August, I was tempted with taking my own life, and it was only a couple days later that I made my first stake. And I do the HEX therapy show with Matty Allen, and I went over this a little bit there, and it was just Matty brought to my attention because he's a substance abuse counselor, a therapist, that not many people get to go from that low point to a place of normalcy that fast. And what did HEX have anything to do with that? And I attributed it to my family, my friends, and God, but it's also HEX. It was also Richard, in this community. I fell in love with the community.
Motley Investor here. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for tuning in today.
Contributing to the project in one way or another for about a year.
Welcome to Cabana Crypto.
Herzlich willkommen zu der Krypto-Sparbuch-Show. Mein Name ist Ellen, das ist Patrick.
What's up, guys? Gary here, Funding Gem.
What is up, DT?
What's up, everybody? Valley of Brand.
Friends and new friends. I'm Christopher Carruthers, also known as Palace of Coach.
Just a pleasure to be part of this community, man. There's so many like-minded entrepreneurial people here, military-minded, liberty-minded, business-minded people in this community, and so we're very fortunate.
Woo! Motherfucking HEX is kicking the ass and taking names. Jackpot, bitch! Jackpot! Jack motherfucking pot, goddammit!
What's up, guys? Welcome to HEX News Live, where you can get your up-to-date view of what's been going on with the craziest day of our lives. Take us. Our bodies are ready. We're ready for the pump. Take us, Richard Hart. Take us to new all-time highs with your beautiful product. Let's go, guys. How's everybody doing today? What an awesome time to be alive in HEX.
So you mean this is not where the cult meeting is?
only use case that has had any adoption whatsoever in cryptocurrency is speculation, store value. That's it. Period. HEX, now, for speculation, what's the only thing you care about? Price up. Okay. Unless you're an option seller and you care about volatility and stuff, but that's such a tiny percentage. I'm not going to go into it. If you're a store value guy, what do you care about? Price up. Oh, okay. Well, what makes the price go up? People buying more than they sell. Anything else? Nope. Hold on a second. Wait a second. You're telling me that the most important thing in crypto is the price goes up, and that the only way the price goes up is if people buy more than they sell. Yep, that's what I'm telling you. Wasn't it interesting that HEX was designed specifically to address exactly those two things? Yeah. HEX monetizes the only thing that actually matters, which is people buying and not selling. And it monetizes the time value of money the same way that they do it in the real world. It just blows my mind that we have CDs in the real world, but we don't have them on the blockchain. So I put them on the blockchain. And people are just like, I don't get it. I don't understand it. If you lock up your money in the real world, your dollar account, and you lock it up an extra year, they give you 20% more interest every extra year. And then it tapers off and they give you less later. And that's what HEX does with shares. If you lock it up an extra year, you get 20% extra shares. And then it tapers off later. Right? Like if it maxes out at 3641 days, which is like 10 years. And then why would you stake longer than that? So you wouldn't have to restake at a crappier share rate then. So you can maintain a higher share rate for longer, to have more shares for longer, to make a higher return for longer. So why is this hard for people to understand? It doesn't make any sense to me how it, like, Bitcoin stores value, the number goes up, everyone's happy. Ethereum stores value, the number goes up, everyone's happy. HEX stores value more securely than Bitcoin with audited software. Bitcoin's not audited. An economics audit. Bitcoin doesn't have an economics audit. Isolated consensus code so that it can't accidentally get screwed up in a network upgrade, which has happened to Bitcoin twice. And it's had inflation bugs twice, where anyone could print as many free Bitcoin as they wanted twice, and they had to roll back the chain once. HEX is more secure than Bitcoin. So if storing value securely and addressing the time value of money and reducing pollution by rewarding stakers instead of miners are good things, and fixing unit bias, and you can claim it for free for Bitcoin holder, it does so many things well. And it's, you're like, it's more liquid on-chain exchange. Now you could now get wrapped Bitcoin probably at the same or higher liquidity levels, but it's still counterparty risk because you have to unwrap it. And then the guy that unwraps it could just be like, no, I'm not going to unwrap it. Sorry. And then you're stuck with your ERC20 wrap. So HEX does so many things better than Bitcoin does.
And I want to congratulate Richard Hart. I want to congratulate everyone who got involved in HEX. You are definitely part of a new generation of investors in the new DeFi economy. And going forward into the future, I'm sure that we are all going to be well rewarded. So, happy birthday to HEX. Congratulations to everybody who is involved and everybody who is going to be involved. So I'm Conrad Zen, signing off for now.
Hi everyone, it's Crypty Girl. I just got off the show Discourse Syndicate. It's a live stream for the HEX community. My hosts, RG3 and Dollar Cost Crypto, were both amazing gentlemen. While I was on the show, I was asking questions about HEX, learning more about it. This was my first time on. The Hexican community welcomed me with open arms. They were all extremely generous and supportive. While I was on the stream, sorry, I'm still emotional. While I was on the stream, they gifted me 2.5 million HEX. Ski Cat gifted me 2.5 million HEX, and I had to get off the stream early because I'm just overwhelmed with gratitude. And that means so much to me. Thank you so much, guys, for your generosity.
You know, it's already changed my life, but this is just the beginning. I mean, now that we're even just at a penny, that's the beginning. That's which is, I mean, even a year ago when I first got, like, I've been there since the beginning. And man, even in my mind, a penny was like a target. So we're about to hit that, and that's already life changing. And I'd love to share my story of a $750 investment in a single wallet. That now at a penny, I've paid off my student loans.
I mean, it's we're gonna be here for a long time, man. The code is built to last longer than our lifespans. So,
Richard, if the option was available for like a 30-year stake, you bet I would have one of them out there.
Yep.
I swear to God.
We reduced it to leave meat on the table for the new guys, because the new guys need to be able to get some shares too, you know. And so that was art to making it beautiful, and it's working. You know, people make suggestions. You should have done this. You should have done that. And you're like, okay, yeah, we should have done this. We should have done that. So had we done this and that, what 352x would be higher than, yeah? So what would we be at? Like what, 5,000x year one? You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, man. Maybe it's really good. You know, maybe it's really, really, really good as it is. And you guys, a lot of you, you know, people that started businesses and tried to do other shit that wasn't Bitcoin, they all lost money. They should have just held to Bitcoin. If you're just looking at it from a money perspective, not from an education, not from a lifestyle, not from a pride thing, but just from a money thing, there's a good chance that you can't outperform crypto.
Facts.
And there's a good chance that you can't outperform the top performing crypto. And if you go look up the charts and you see which crypto has made more gains in the last year than any other crypto, HEX wins, period.
Just like the pump. Wait. Money's
Not throwing hints out, but
this is gonna be Mudley at the conference with like a head thing right here.
I'm gonna have to have a hype man right next to me carrying that.
That'd be a great screenshot. Can everybody point up into that thing? That'd be a great screenshot. We'll grab that later. All in the right direction. RG, Dappin. Thanks. I'll get that screenshot later.
To conclude the conference.
That's a good thumbnail. There we go.
Yeah. All right, guys. I love you guys. You're the best. I'm out.
Thank you, Richard.
Love you, Richard. Thank you.
Respond to me on Telegram.
All right, guys. Well, it's been a huge success. We're closing in on 7.5 hours for the stream, so we're going to go ahead and call it that it's been a super successful conference, and it wouldn't have been such without you.
So if you're ever gonna buy your freedom, you gotta start small, right? And whatever money that you save that you don't waste on things that you don't need is money that can go into your inventory and go into your advertising. And so I suggest you don't fall for stupid scams on the internet with people telling you that you're gonna get rich quick, and all they do for a living is teach people how to pretend to get rich quick, and then just take your money, the money that you could have used to actually start a real business that actually provided real value to real people. If you're paying $3,000, $5,000 to some guru who's going to tell you how to get rich, yet he doesn't use it himself, you have to be curious.